In gym class at Birmingham High when I wasn't busy faking an injury. And the night I got naked and underneath a 20-year-old man, losing my virginity in the name of true love, only to find out it was a one-off. Oh. By 15, I'd been touched without my consent 3 times. First by a babysitter when I was 8, at 12 at a slumber party by someone 36 who fingered me in the dark while I was sleeping, and at 14 when a friend's older brother violently pounced on me, covering my mouth, holding me down, calling me a slut, groping and threatening me. I successfully fought him off, but he left deep, bloody scratches I covered up with Joe Blasco's TVC-15 neutralizer. I managed to hang on to myself. These secrets were stuffed away in emotional drawers. There were no confessional talk shows on TV, and recovered memories weren't in style yet. Mom listened to Dr. Tony Grant on KABC constantly, and though I was tempted to phone in my laundry list and ask for help, she seemed anti-feminist to me. It was different than it is now. Kids weren't given clear-cut skills to use in the event of a transgression. People got away with all kinds of things without ever getting caught. My body felt like a vandalized temple. I learned to wear weight as a shield, was a master of camouflage. Thanksgiving is this Thursday, Richard Simmons warned us. You know what that means. Everyone gains 5 pounds. You know you're going to overeat. You must try extra hard today. That means you, he shouted, pointing at me, even though I was positioned in the back of the room, hoping to disappear into the wallpaper like a Francesca Woodman self-portrait. I was mortified at being seen in tights and a leotard in front of my friends. Sprawled out next to me was Kimmy, a natural at warm-ups, stretches, and dance routines. Her mom had been teaching calisthenics in their living room with no mirrors since her parents' divorce. Kimmy was my bright angel. We became inseparable in 4th grade, when I lured her into collaborating with me on a publication I was creating. It was a mixture of my dad's 2 mainstay magazines, Playboy and Sports Illustrated. I called it Sex Illustrated. And together we draw unclothed stick figures with exaggerated body parts in compromising positions. Once we'd found each other, me and Kimmy, we would never let go. She was a combination platter of Farrah, Brigitte, and Olivia Newton-John. She lived on figurines, those crunchy diet bars. She was 75 pounds and swore by nice and easy, with impossible blue eyes, narrow hips, and enormous tits, real ones. But she never felt like she was enough. The girls at school thought she was conceited and kept their distance. They didn't realize she was shy and insecure. It was hard for anyone to grasp that someone who looked like she did could be plagued with self-doubt. I didn't fit in anywhere either, and she gave me a place to fill. It was her breathlessness, her open heart, and her willingness to connect that drew me to her. There was nothing like belonging. Richard Simmons in his black tank unitard was sizing up Kimmy like she was the only girl in the room. After class, we gathered at the Roughage Salad Bar. Richard Simmons grabbed Kimmy and dragged her away from the party to a woman with frosted hair and a fake-looking face who'd been wanting to meet her. She wasn't wearing a dance skin. The 3 of them huddled together for 15 minutes. I was about to get in line for seconds when Kimmy returned, blushed and frazzled. I was just invited to pose for Playboy. She blurted out, that lady I've been talking to is their photo editor. She's on the great Playmate hunt, scouting nationwide for a centerfold for their 25th anniversary issue. She thinks I'm it. Playmate of the year. I don't know what she sees in me. Ruthie's mom announced that it was time to open presents. She brought a Hanson's birthday cake, but everyone was too embarrassed to eat in front of Richard Simmons. So she decided to leave it in the car. Someone gave Ruthie an oversized satin pillow in the shape of a Baby Ruth candy bar. It got tossed around Roughage like a volleyball, and within minutes was in shreds. So, are you gonna spread your legs for Playboy? I asked Kimmy. It's tempting, she said. She offered me thousands of dollars. I told her, I'm only 16. She said they'd work around it. I could lie about my age. I told her, my dad reads that magazine. I don't want him to open the centerfold, start beating off, and realize it's me. I said no, even for that much money.
Oh.
There's more. Sorry, almost over.
Okay.
I was proud of Kimmy and stunned by her flash decision. She'd wanted to be celebrated for something since grade school. This could have been her big break, her ticket to becoming a Bond girl or a game show hostess. It would be the only time in Kimmy's life that she would hang on to herself. I wasn't any more stable, had no idea how to balance food or emotions. Small portions made me feel unloved. Anorexia was on the rise and I kept getting bigger. I had a grease tooth, lived on fast food. It made me break out. A dermatologist diagnosed me with a condition called McDonald's acne. Binging and restrictions helped to numb feelings of guilt, depression, and shame. That day at Roughage, Richard Simmons had put his arm around me like a concerned father and said, "I've been watching you. You're very attractive, but you need to lose 10 pounds now before it becomes 20, and it will." Why was everything a mixed message? Why did we all have to think thin to be considered desirable, worthy? It would take years for me to learn to treat myself with gentleness, compassion, and finally, self-love. By 1990, the average age a girl started dieting had dropped to 8 years old.
Oh, God.
Kimmy managed to stay skinny her whole life. She never did pose for Playboy. It was Candy Loving who'd win the Great Playmate Hunt in '79. But Dorothy Stratton would become Playboy's shiniest star, pegged as the next Marilyn Monroe, appearing in their August issue and as Playmate of the Year in 1980. It scares me how much she resembled Kimmy. They could have been twins. Stratton would lose her life at 20 to all of the beautiful, ugly things that make this place LA. She was ensnared long before she was murdered. As for Kimmy, she was delicate as a hybrid tea rose, fragile, broken in the box. When we were girls, I wanted to be her, but when I realized that would never happen, I tried to save her. Kimmy was too consumed with feelings of... Is that someone's phone? Kimmy. She would call. Kimmy was too consumed with feelings of inadequacy to find any true happiness. She battled depression and eating disorder, a series of bad relationships, and drug addiction. At 42, she jumped 17 stories off a balcony in Marina del Rey. There was always this part of me, call it my core, an inner strength, and knowing that I would be okay no matter what. There was always this part of her, call it her core, and knowing that she would never feel safe, never find love, never soar. Her lingering essence both comforts and haunts me, her absence a reminder of my presence, and I have never felt so close to anyone before or since. Thank you.